people. I wanted to do a quick review of this holster that I picked up for my Sig 1911. One of the issues with the Sig 1911 is the shape of the slide. It makes finding a holster for it a bit of a pain. So I picked up this one, go over the pros and cons of it, and compare it to a holster, you know, at a much higher level holster, a Gary Bromlin MaxCon 5. This holster, this one right here, is a Hume product. It's not bad. It's all leather, and here's the information on it. Okay, it's a 721 holster. I happen to be right-handed. It's right-handed. It's black leather. Those are the guns it will fit. It will fit the Sig 1911 as well, although it's not specifically made for the Sig 1911. What you'll have to do is when you get this holster is to take your firearm, and this gun is clear. There's nothing in the magazine. We'll rack it back. We'll check the chamber. It's clear. What you'll have to do is wrap this gun in several layers of wax paper. Stick it in the holster and put it back in your gun safe overnight to get it to fit in the holster. You can. It's not a bad holster. It's got a sweat guard to basically protect you. So when you're wearing this gun on your right-hand side, it's sort of keeping it for the most part off your body, and so it's fairly comfortable to wear. It does come all the way down. That's the end. That's as far in as it will go, folks. You can see it's now tapered down there. It's set up for cant, so it'll ride in your belt like that. Makes sense. And you know, it's an okay holster. It's outside the waistband. I will tell you that you gotta definitely do the wax paper trick. Otherwise, this is a really difficult fit. You can actually see it's going to take even more. You can't really see in here because it's dark in there, but the gun will wear away a little bit, and the inside of the holster a little bit, and eventually that will stop, and it will fit just fine. Right now, this is acceptable for outside the waistband carry. Again, the wax paper trick being critical. What do I like about the holster? I think it's cheap. You know, it's utilitarian. You know, it works. I don't like this. I'd like to see this, and this is true for all the 1911s that I have, I believe. The trigger's slightly exposed. I would like to see that taken care of, and I think they could be a little bit more generous on this cut here to really make sure that that safety's covered up. Otherwise, it's not too bad. Not too bad. If you compare this holster, you can see how it's shaped. It's pretty much like a kind of two pieces of leather sewn together, roughly shaped to fit a 1911. It's a lot different than, for instance, a very high-end holster somewhere around the $150 or more range. It's a Gary Bromlin. You know, this thing is just sweet. It carries my Colt 1911 in it. This gun's also been checked. There's nothing in the magazine, nothing in the chamber. Just noticed. I think when I cleaned this thing last, I think I missed a spot. Oh well. But this holster is just a dream. This holster, it fits beautifully. You can see here the advantage is you completely covered that trigger. You've completely covered the safety. It's shaped. So, but you know, you're in a different class of holster. It's also an inside the waistband holster. So, you know, what do you expect for half the price, right? At least half the price. I can tell you I've worn this holster a lot. You can barely tell. That's how well this is made. We'll have to see how this guy holds up. In terms of the trigger being covered up, which is sort of a pet peeve of mine. It's true on the Colt too, so it's less so than the Sig, but it's still there. That trigger is slightly exposed. I don't, you know, it's up to you whether or not you like it. The real problem with the Sig, in my opinion, is if you look at the shape of the slide, it's big and square at the top there. That creates an issue in terms of finding a holster for it. And what you find here is that these edges will actually cut into that leather in a holster and wear it away. Eventually, I'm assuming that wearing will stop, and you know, it will kind of custom fit itself to the holster. This is the 1911 Target model from Sig. The other issue is you kind of have this big floppy, not floppy, but big, you know, Target adjustable sight on the back that, you know, is another challenge. This gun's obviously not made for concealed carry with sights like that on it, you know, as compared to your traditional Colt sights. But this isn't a gun review, it's really a holster review, so I think for the most part, you can also see, you know, this is fits nice with the conventional 1911, but when you get it to fit your Sig, you're gonna have a problem with conventional 1911s because it's going to be basically hollowed out to the point where it's going to be too big for a gun with a regular shapes, a normal shaped or traditionally shaped slide on it. This gun, I'm not even going to force it into the Bromlin. Won't fit because I don't want to carve up the inside of my holster. So, bit of the peculiar issues of a Sig 1911. Finding a holster for them is, I found, to be a bit of a pain. I understand there are some makers now that do make a holster specifically for the Target model, but as I said, I'm not really willing to spend the money on those yet because I don't know that they're really this is gonna stay in the collection. It might not. Certainly a nice gun, but we'll have to see. Alright, that's all I got for you. If you're in the market for a relatively inexpensive holster for a 1911 or for any other make of a gun, you can consider the Hume H721. It's not bad for the price. The only shortcoming, I think, is the ability to cover up the trigger here. Otherwise, it's a perfectly serviceable holster, and you have to just decide whether or not that bothers you. If you really take a good grip on the gun when you draw, this shouldn't be an issue for you. Your finger should come out up here, not down here or on here, right? So you never want to be like doing this, because then when you inevitably press, you're going to immediately go to the trigger. You don't want to do that. You want to be up here, right? Index up here, right? Alright, that's all I got for you. Hope it's useful. This is something you can check out from Hume. Not the best, but certainly not the worst. They're serviceable. And if you're on a budget, this is definitely something to consider.